event.
Where do you guys see yourself 5 years from now with this series?
Where do we see ourselves?
Yeah.
I assume I will be dead.
If we're making the show for another 5 years, we probably will be dead.
It will kill us. It will be a happy death, but it will probably kill us. No, I guess 5 years from now, if we could still be doing the show, I would actually be thrilled. It's such a blast to do. And it never, like, there's never been a day on set where you go, oh, no one was funny today. Like, every day, you're laughing your ass off.
How hard is it to get some of the NFL football players guest starring on the show?
It's not that hard, I have to be honest with you.
Originally it was difficult.
Originally it was difficult, but now we get more calls from people who want to do the show than we have space for. So it's a lot of pressure actually from agents and managers whose clients are huge fans of the league, or they think it would be a good thing for them to be on the show. And it's you have to come up with a good story for it, or it doesn't happen.
Right, because this isn't our list. These are just, six schmoes from Chicago. So it has to feel believable somehow.
When you're in production for the show itself, where does your writing end and their improvising begin?
Well, we write, single-spaced, 12, 15-page outlines that have, scene numbers and locations and lots of dialogue in them. And then, it's our responsibility as showrunners, particularly of a show that's made probably for a lot less money than any other show that's coming through here. We only have 3.5 days an episode to shoot. So you don't have a lot of time to get in there and just dick around. You've got to get in there and know that you're going to be able to shoot that episode in 3.5 days, which is it's pretty fast. So I think where the improvising begins is, we put stuff in there in those outlines, but unlike most network shows or some cable shows, we're not married to every single word and all the punctuation that goes with it. And so people get to say it in their own way, and they can beat the joke. And if you've got a better take on that line, if you've got a better joke, bring it on. And often they do. And there's a lot of great stuff that comes from it that feels funnier and more natural.
Yeah, and every scene that we shoot, there's an outline, and then there's the live rewrite that happens on camera. And so between the first take of the scene and the sixth take of the scene, that scene is getting rewritten many times, and then it's getting rewritten again in the edit room, where we have to take all these choices that all these amazing guys have said, and we're throwing lines out and they're throwing lines out, we're trying all this stuff, and then in the edit room you've got all these choices, and you sort of figure out, okay, what's the absolute funniest version of this scene? We're only going to be able to use 30% of it for air, and we'll use the best 50% for the DVD.
And sometimes somebody will improvise a line, and it's a great idea, but it's not exactly what's going to work. And we'll sit there and say, okay, take a little bit of that, but then do this instead. And so it becomes this collaborative process of a really terrific kernel of a new idea that then, or sometimes it's just terrific dialogue that just replaces what's already there.
Is there a lot of breaking out of character? Because that's really, I imagine, so funny. Make it a little bit longer days, because having to do retake after retake.
We definitely, if you saw the DVD from last year, sort of Jason Mantzoukas and Nick Kroll trying to get through this conversation about Whitney Houston dying and Michael Jackson knowing, and we ended up doing it differently in the DVD. But if you were watching the quad split on set with the three monitors together, you would see that we had to actually ask Nick to get up from his chair and stand in the corner of the room and turn around, because out of the corner of Jason's eye he could see him laughing, and Jason couldn't get through his dialogue in his single. And then he could see Nick's shoulders bouncing and was driving him crazy, so we had to remove Nick from the room, which is hilarious. So you're watching the three cameras, the monitors, and now he's playing his single, Jason's doing his single for his dialogue, to an empty room because Nick can't control his laughter and Jason can't finish his performance without it. So
there's a lot of okay, let me get through this. All right, I'll try.
It's just weird things set them off. It's not even it's a very personal, specific kryptonite that each one of them has that sets them off. That's just a really funny thing to watch.
The Rafi Dirty Randy episode from this season. What was happening with that? Because when I was watching, I was like, are we doing a backdoor pilot to a spin-off show right now?
No.
And then when you get to the end, you're like, okay, I don't know what's happening anymore. So what was the inspiration behind that particular episode?
Jason and Jeff and I were working one night, and he had been speaking to Seth after they'd worked together. Jason and Seth had never met until they were on the league. We cast Seth as Dirty Randy and told Jason he was very excited to work with Seth. They actually became good buddies, and they're doing other stuff together, and a really nice relationship has been born off of that. But Jason came to us one night and said, what if Seth and I wrote an episode and we did this crazy Rafi Dirty Randy episode? And we said, that sounds awesome. Let's do that. And after 5 years, I think it's fun to change things up, give fans a different experience, and then come back home too. But I think Jason and Seth are both too busy to run a television show with Rafi and Dirty Randy. And also, I'm not sure what network's going to air that every week. That would have advertising stuff.
We would do it in a second. And Seth and Jason both have some other stuff going on, but I mean, super happy.
It's brilliant. We loved it. We'd do it again in a second.
Yeah, anything like that. For us, it's whatever's. We're all trying to make the funniest half hour, the funniest half hour, the funniest half hour, and it's nice to. Our universe has expanded in a nice way over these 5 years. We've had amazing guest cast, and it's nice to be able to spend time with some of these other amazing people. You know, instead of just giving them a few minutes on the show.
Thanks, guys. Sorry, we've got to switch.
Thank you so much, everyone.